I have seen many deals and transactions to realize that the average woman is very bad at negotiating. I don't feel like we're inherently bad at negotiating. I feel like women are socially conditioned in such a way that they leave money on the table. There's this belief that the average man has more money because they work harder or because they put in more effort. But I think the problem is women are very bad at negotiating. Why the average man will go cutthroat, going for what he wants. And for the longest time, I've been wondering, why is it that women don't negotiate as strongly as the men do? The first reason why women are very bad at negotiating is that the average woman is a people pleaser. People pleasing is one of the reasons why women don't get more money. Let me tell you why I think so. I feel like society rewards women when they are agreeable, accommodating, and easy to work with, which is everything that a people pleaser is. And negotiation requires you pushing back at someone and being willing to disappoint that person, which is kind of the nightmare for a people pleaser. You'll see a man and a woman go for the same interview, and the man is able to negotiate more money for himself in terms of salary and benefits, while the woman leaves with like whatever basics they are offering. When it comes to job interviews, let's say for instance that the salary is say $100,000, that's the base they're offering. During that interview, that man is likely to negotiate higher salary for himself, whereas the woman will just take whatever they're offering. Men know how to negotiate better salaries and benefits for themselves compared to women. I feel like the average woman believes that if she asks for more, she's being difficult. Yes, so like asking for more means being difficult. Like how dare you try to upset this balance? They already said it's 100K, like why are you asking for more? Whereas men don't see life that way because they know that rules are made to be broken. Like those rules were made by somebody. You can always push back if that doesn't work for you. So back to people pleasing. People pleasers tend to be very agreeable. They don't want to upset the balance. So if you tell them to do something, they will likely do that thing without questioning you. If a woman looking for a job and the salary says something, I want to tell you that you can always ask more than that asking salary. What I'm saying is, if a job lists a certain salary and benefit with it, you can always negotiate that. Remember that that thing was set by humans just like you. Yes, so they are prone to changing their mind, and sometimes they are trying to save money for the organization. If you think you're worth it and your skills are worth it, you should always negotiate more in the job. And of course, they have the right to say no, and that is fine. But what I'm saying is, if you have options, learn to negotiate salaries. Yes, always ask for more than they're willing to give you, and benefit as well. Benefits can be negotiated. You can negotiate more holidays for yourself compared to what they are giving you. If you're a woman in business, you know what I'm talking about. People always want to give you like the barest minimum, and they don't expect you to push back because women usually will not push back. And that's why it surprises them when a woman pushes back, and they sometimes think that you're being aggressive or difficult. But that's just you negotiating. In the world of business, women tend to be very agreeable and go with the first offer or whatever they're offering them. And that is why whenever you push back, they're kind of surprised because the average woman will not push back at something like that. And if care is not taken, they will label you as difficult and aggressive, which of course you're not. You're just trying to negotiate more for yourself. If you want to be successful as a woman, I'll tell you this thing for free. Learn how to negotiate. Leave that people pleasing shit at the door and learn how to advocate for yourself. Yes, negotiation is a form of advocacy. Advocate for yourself. If you think that offering you less than you deserve, learn to speak up. Don't just take up the offer. Like, learn to push back, and that's okay. My next point is Oliver Twist complex. That is wanting some more, and when wanting some more feels like greed, even if it's not. Yes, I want some more, but I'm not greedy. I just think I deserve it. When you start negotiating, people try to frame it as though you're being selfish or inconsiderate of others or the company. Hear this from me. It is not your job to be considerate of a company's budget. That is their business, not yours. How they spend their money or how they run their money is none of your business. You should always ask what you think you're worth. Let's say, for instance, your skills is worth like, say, $100,000, and a job is trying to offer you 70K, talking about how, we're cutting down on the budget and this is happening and that is happening, we're restructuring. It's not your job to be considerate of them and take that from them just like make them feel good. Always ask for the market price. Whatever you're worth, learn to ask for that thing. Again, I say, it is not your job to watch the finances of a company. Your job is to offer them the skills that they need, and if they can afford to pay that, good for them. If not, bounce. That's why it seems like whenever a job is paying less, you see women applying to that job, even though they know like, I am worth more than this, so why are you applying to that? Asking to be paid what you're worth is not greed, it's literally common sense, like you're worth that for a reason. But stop thinking that wanting more money makes you look like a greedy person. It's not greed, it's the average thing in business. We negotiate all the time. Also, when you're negotiating, stop caring about what they're thinking. Like, if during negotiation, someone is trying to get judgmental with you, I want you to know that that's a manipulation technique. Yes, they are aware that if they push you too hard, you will cave. If they think it's greed, that's absolutely fine. But if that's your worth, that's your worth. You have to realize, if a business is not willing to pay you what you're worth, they're actually the ones being greedy because they're stealing money from you. So they know that that's what you're worth, but because they want to keep more to themselves and have more profit, they are willing to steal from you in order to do that. So the greed is on the side of the business, not on your own side. So if a business is trying to negotiate you down, you have to realize that they are the ones being greedy, not you. So always ask for what you're worth. It's not greed, it's your worth. My third point is, women are very discomfort avoidant. Negotiation requires a lot of discomfort. It requires you being silent. It requires you saying no or pushing back on their offer and all that. So women tend to not want to deal with that discomfort because, I don't want to seem like I'm the bad person here, so I'm just going to agree with you. A good negotiation requires silence, awkwardness, and tension. Yes, those three things must exist. If your instinct is to immediately make everyone comfortable, you will be negotiating against yourself. I'll give an example. Let's say they're offering you something like $70,000, but what you want is actually $100,000. Let me show you how this is going to go. So they will say something like, well, our budget can only accommodate $70,000. Now is your turn. So you will say, well, based on my skills and the current offer, I feel like what I can accept at the moment is $100,000. Well, we feel like you're asking for too much. And then they keep quiet because they know that silence will make you very uncomfortable. And when they keep quiet, the existing thing they will do, they will stare at you. Because staring makes people uncomfortable, like when they're not saying anything. So like they keep quiet and then they stare at you because they know you're about to step in and negotiate against yourself. This is not the time for you to say,
well, I know the market is so bad right now. And okay, can you guys do 75? Can you do 80? Can you do 72?
That is not the time for you to step in and negotiate against yourself. Learn to sit with tension. Play that mind game with them. It's all a mind game. Play that mind game with them. I tell you, they have that budget. They're just seeing if you're willing to accept a lower offer. They have the budget for that. Online, I see people complaining about a new hire any more than them, even though they were there before. And then they try to blame the management. But the truth is, you did not negotiate. You were willing to sit there and you were comfortable with that salary until you heard that someone was earning more than you. So it's not even that you wanted more, it's the fact that someone is not earning more than you. That's what made you uncomfortable, right? So even if an interview is uncomfortable and everyone is staring at you, it's okay to keep quiet and just say, you know what, the lowest I can go is 100K. Like I said, it's a mind game. Play that with them. My next point is, asking for more is a very masculine quality and women get penalized for that, while men get rewarded for that. When a man asks for more, he's being very masculine and assertive. And if the woman does that, she's a boss and she's trying to boss people around. She's trying to boss her way around. She's trying to push things around. When it comes to women, society interprets you asking for more as you nagging or pushing back or trying to upset the balance. Like you came in here and everyone accepted this thing, yet you're trying to ask for more. It's something that women get penalized for. Apart from jobs, you see this in everyday life, in marriages, in relationship. When a man is asking for more, he's kind of telling what he wants. But if a woman is asking for more, she's nagging. So we see this in business as well. When a woman negotiates for more, people think that she's trying to boss things around or trying to upset the balance, whereas she's just asking for what she's worth or what she wants. So trying not to be seen as bossy or nagging is the other reason why women tend to negotiate against themselves. The next reason why women are very bad at negotiating is that women tend to be very nice at their own expense. By being nice, I mean don't ask for much or don't be difficult. If in your workplace there's a new hire, if you tell a woman that, oh, this new hire is going to share your desk with you for the meantime, a woman is more likely to say, okay, that's fine, yeah, even if she doesn't want to do that. If you do that to a man will likely push back and say why would I have to share my table with someone else? Men are not very agreeable and they are likely to say their mind compared to their female counterparts. At the workplace, you can push women to do more and more and more, and they will kind of accommodate you because they're trying not to be difficult. They're trying to be nice at their own expense. Another example in the workplace is whenever there is a food to be shared, the men look up to the women to kind of do the sharing and the cleaning up as well. They don't consider that their job at all. They don't feel like this is something I should be doing. And women will not push back. So the women will sit there, serve the food, clean up, take the notes and all that, and not push back because they're trying to be nice. If as a woman you're too nice, people will use the hell out of you. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. I prefer to be kind and not nice. Being kind means that I will try to be a good person. I will try to do the right thing. But being nice means being too accommodating at your own expense. So if someone says that you're a nice person, it's actually not a good thing. I'd rather be called a good person and a kind person than to be called a nice person, because being nice means that I'm willing to accommodate people at my own expense. I'm willing to take shit from people just so I am nice. Now I have to warn you, as someone that practices this thing, if you want everyone to like you or everyone to have a good word about you, you want the whole world to like you, then don't do this, because the moment you stop being nice to people, they will show their true colors. People only be nice to you because you're being nice to them. The moment you start pushing back and saying no to people, the real them will come out. So learn to be kind as a woman, but not nice. When it comes to life in general, in friendship, in relationship, at work, in businesses, learn how to negotiate for yourself from a good standpoint, not from a nice standpoint. So don't be so nice. My next point is the average woman will consider every other person's position before themselves. So the average woman will put every other person in front. If a woman is offered a job, instead of thinking what is this opportunity worth it for me, the first thought is, what can this employer afford to pay? That is not your business. What they can afford or what they are willing to pay is really not your business as much as what you are worth. It's not your job not to upset them or try to make them happy. Your job there is to negotiate the best for yourself. I see this with women all the time. When they're negotiating for something, it's almost like they're calculating the other person's cost before theirs. I'll give another instance. When it comes to business, let's say for instance, you want to give a contract out and it's a man and a woman. If you tell the woman what we can afford right now for this contract is $5,000 because the business is not doing well and we're trying to restructure and blah, 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 blah. All the things they say. A woman will start to think, well, the business is not doing well, might as well take it so I don't upset them, all the lot. Whereas a man is thinking, well, if you can't afford it then $5 find someone else to do it for you. Like, I wouldn't go below my asking price. The average businessman does not care about how your business is doing. What his business there is to charge his worth and go. More women should be like that. My next point is, men are always able to separate emotions from business. During negotiation, men understand that this is about money. It's nothing personal. They're only trying to save more by stifling you. And men have that in mind. Like, they don't have anything personal against me. They're just trying to save more money. Whereas the woman will think, well, if I push back at this now, they might think that I'm being difficult and I'm not being nice and I'm not looking out for them. I'm not a good employee. You know what I mean? Money is money. Feelings are feelings. Money is not feelings and feeling is not money. So separate those two things. And that's why I said earlier, stop caring about what they're thinking. What they're thinking at that moment is none of your business. It's nothing personal. In the world of business, negotiation is a thing. We're all trying to save more money so the best person wins. So don't think that this is something personal when they push back and say, well, we can't do this. And then you think, well, that means that they hate me. They don't hate you. It's just about them making more or saving more. Again, it goes back to people pleasing. Why do you want them to like you so much? Why do you care about what they think about you? Why do you care about what they think about you? Why do you care about what they think about you as a person? The next reason is women don't always ask. Sometimes the failure in negotiation happens before even the negotiation itself. Why women are very bad at negotiation is that women don't negotiate at all. They tend to go with the first thing that you give them. Women tend to go with the first offer. And let me tell you something, no one offers their best the first time. If there's a deal or a business contract or a job and they offer you something, I want you to know that that is not their best offer, because they know that people will always negotiate, and so they tend to start with the lowest they're able to go, because by the time you start negotiating off, you kind of come up to what they were willing to pay in the first place. Let's say, for instance, a contract says that they're willing to pay you $10,000. Let me tell you the deal, they will likely pay you up to $25,000 if you negotiate more. They are betting on you not pushing back in order to pay the lowest amount. So whenever you see something, don't always think that the first price is the best price. Ask for more. The worst I can say is no. I know that there is this fear that people tend to have that if they ask more for a job, that the job might kind of rescind the offer. Well, that's actually a valid fear, because I've heard of things like that happening. If you have options, push your luck. If you don't, then I guess you can take it if you're that desperate. With that said, how can you get better at negotiation? The first thing is always ask yourself, what is my worth? What is the worth of what they're asking me to do right now? That is always the first question. Not what they think, not what they feel, not what they're saying, not what they're acting like. What is my worth? What is the market value of this role, and what value am I bringing to them? What is the worth of that value that I'm going to offer to them? Stop negotiating based on what you think they're comfortable with and start negotiating based on your worth. The next one is don't negotiate against yourself. Never ever say, I was hoping for $100,000, but it seems like you guys can't afford it right now, so I'm willing to take $80,000. Don't do that. The next one is, when going into a negotiation, always have these three things in mind. What is your ideal number? What is your target? And what is your minimum? Your ideal number is what you would love to get. Let's say, for instance, $150,000 might be your ideal number. Your target is what you realistically get based on that role and based on the job market, which might be something like $100,000. And then your minimum is the lowest you're willing to accept, and that might be something like, say, $90,000. So how do you negotiate based on these numbers? When you go into a job interview that says something like, we're going to pay you $95,000, you will first of all offer them your ideal number, which is $150,000 or $130,000, depends. And then it's their turn to make their offer. They will likely bounce between what they're asking to offer you and that your ideal. So like between $150,000 and $95,000, right? So you guys are going like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And eventually you might land on something like $110,000 or $105,000. Now that is way below your ideal number, but it's above your target, which is good. So in that case, that's a good negotiation. Never ever review your minimum in a negotiation. Always review your target, but never the minimum. So it's always review the target and then the ideal. The moment you tell them your minimum, they will likely pay you that. So never ever do that. And mind you, I'm not saying you should go in there saying that my ideal is this and my target is this. Just call your numbers, but you're the one that knows what they mean to you. They shouldn't know that. So if your target is $100,000, start negotiating at $115,000 or $120,000. By the time they start beating you down, you get down to the $100,000. That's how it works. The next point is get comfortable hearing someone say no to you. Get comfortable hearing no and not feeling like that means they are rejecting me. They're simply rejecting the offer, not you as a person. Let's say, for instance, you ask them for $120,000 and they say, no, that's too high. Don't retreat and accept their offer. What you should do is ask them, so what are you willing to offer me? That's how negotiation goes. Like, this is my offer. No, I can't do that. So what are you willing to do? This. Okay, no, that is too low for me. That's how it goes until you get a comfortable number. Negotiation is simply conversation, not a test of whether they like you or not. It is simply conversation when you're trying to find a common ground. That is what negotiation is. The other thing you should do is let the other person feel uncomfortable. Yes, don't try to rescue other people from the discomfort of a negotiation. Negotiations are meant to be uncomfortable in a sense. So when that silence is there, leave it there. Don't try to rescue the other person and make it like less awkward for them. Keep quiet. So if you say something like, I will need $50,000 for this project, just keep quiet. Don't try to go in immediately and say, well, I can be flexible. No, if they're silent, be silent as well. Maybe they're thinking. Think as well. The other thing that will work for you is don't try to explain your numbers too much. People do this all the time during negotiation where they try to explain their numbers to you. I'll give an instance. They will say something like, I'm charging $10,000 because I have to pay my workers, I have to pay this worker $2,000, and I have to pay this one $3,000, and I have to buy the materials for this and for that amount. When you say that, you give the other person room to come in and try try to beat down your price more. They can say something like, well, instead of you buying from this supplier, how about you buy from this place? It's cheaper here. So because you explain the numbers to them, they will try to beat you down to save more money. So never ever explain your numbers. The more you over-explain, the more room you give the other person to challenge you based on the things you're saying. So don't do that. My next point is salary is not the only thing that is negotiable. Every other package is negotiable. Your annual leave, your PTO, everything that comes with the job is negotiable. Most times, people will only ask for like more salary. They don't negotiate the other packages that come with the job. Everything that is on the table is negotiable. Always remember that. If that thing was made by humans, if it was compiled by a human being, you can negotiate that thing. My final point is negotiation is a skill that you need to hone over time. Don't think that you can do this once and get it right. Negotiation is something you need to do like over and over again to get good at it. So give yourself grace to practice and fail. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. You need to practice your negotiation and don't always wait for like high stakes situations to start practicing. When it comes to your random everyday life, learn to negotiate the little things so that when the big opportunities come, you're confident in how you negotiate. That's where the silence and the pushback is not scary to you. It's something that you're used to. I have to end this by saying, I'm not saying you should stop being nice. I'm only saying that don't think that being nice means you have to lose something, or that being nice means that other people have to gain at your own expense. You can be nice and ambitious. You can be nice and assertive. You can be nice and still ask for what you're worth. And finally, don't forget this. Negotiation is uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable while asking for what you're worth. With that said, I'll leave you guys now and I'll see you guys in my next one.